All right, picture this with me. You're walking down a crowded street in Beijing, and everywhere you look, boom, there he is, Mao Zedong.
On the money, right.
Oh, yeah, the
Yeah.
currency. But also, like, giant portraits in public squares. I even saw him on, get this, those little red books people used to carry around.
Oh, the quotations, like they were the ultimate pocket guide.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it makes you think, this guy, he's not just some historical figure. His ideas, they still have this, like, presence.
Totally. It's like his legacy is baked into the DNA of China, even now.
And that's what we're diving into today, the thought of Mao Zedong.
Straight from the source, too. We're going deep into those quotations, seeing what made his ideas tick.
You might think, quotes, that sounds a little dry for me. But honestly, it's like having a direct line to this revolutionary leader's mind. And luckily, I've got our expert here to help us break it all down.
Well, it's not just history, is it? It's about understanding what makes China tick today, what motivates them, their whole worldview.
Right. Okay, so let's jump into one of Mao's biggest ideas, the primacy of the people. This wasn't just some catchy campaign slogan. He genuinely believed that everyday people were the, like, engine of history, the driving force of revolution.
And this was a big shift from traditional Marxist thought, which focused mainly on the urban working class, right? Mao, he's coming from a place where the vast majority of China was rural. Peasants, farmers, they were the heart of his revolution.
And he's not afraid to get pretty, shall we say, passionate when he talks about it. I mean, the way he describes the masses, the imagery he uses.
It's powerful stuff.
Totally. He calls the people this iron bastion that no force can break. And then he compares their collective will to, get this, a mad bull crashing into a ring of flames.
He's really trying to capture that raw, almost elemental power of mass movements.
You can almost hear the roar of the crowd when you read those words. It's intense. But, okay, let's bring it back to the present. How does this belief in the power of the people, how does that play out in China today?
It explains a lot about their strategies, actually. Their emphasis on mass mobilization in their economy, their social campaigns, even how they project their influence globally.
You're saying it all comes back to this deep-seated belief in the power of the people to make things happen.
Absolutely. They truly believe in harnessing that collective energy. It's like strength in numbers on a national scale.
Mao took that idea and ran with it, didn't he?
Oh, for sure. He saw the sheer size of China's population as its greatest asset, and he was determined to tap into that, to direct that energy towards building this new China he envisioned.
It's like trying to bottle lightning, right? All that raw energy, the people, the passion, you can't just, like, unleash that without some kind of direction.
Exactly. And that's where Mao's next big idea comes in, the absolutely essential role of the Communist Party. He saw the party as the only force capable of harnessing and directing the power of the masses.
Okay, so it's not enough to just have the people on board. You need someone to, like, steer the ship.
Think of it that way, yeah. Mao was adamant about this. He actually compares a revolution without party leadership to a ship without a rudder, totally lost at sea.
And he's not wrong, right? I mean, without some kind of structure, things could get chaotic pretty fast. But at the same time, you're talking about maintaining absolute control. Isn't that kind of at odds with the whole empowering the masses thing?
It's a tightrope walk, for sure. And you hit on a key tension that still exists in China today. How do you give people a voice, but make sure that voice ultimately aligns with the party's vision?
Right, it's a balancing act.
Yeah.
So how does that work? What does Mao say about the role of the party?
Well, he uses some pretty powerful imagery. He talks about the party being the vanguard, the protector of the revolution. They see themselves as entrusted with this sacred duty, guiding the people towards this brighter future.
That's a heavy responsibility, and probably not one you take lightly. It's like they're constantly on guard, watching for any threats to their vision.
Oh, absolutely. And Mao drives this point home, too. One of the most striking metaphors he uses is the long march of 10,000 lies. It refers to this epic journey the communists made in the 1930s, but it also represents the ongoing struggle even after they came to power.
Wait, so even after they won, it wasn't over?
Not for Mao. He saw the revolution as a continuous process, something that would never truly be finished. There's always another mountain to climb, another enemy to overcome. And that includes internal threats like complacency and corruption within the party itself.
Whoa, so even the party has to keep evolving.
Constantly. That's the implication. Mao's always emphasizing the need for vigilance, discipline, making sure the revolution doesn't lose its way. It's like that old saying, eternal vigilance is the price of
Liberty.
Exactly. Or in this case, the revolution.
This is not enough to just win the revolution. You have to keep the momentum going. Right?
Exactly. And that brings us to the third key idea we're exploring today, this concept of the never-ending revolution. For Mao, revolution wasn't a destination, it was like this ongoing process.
Okay, I'm intrigued, but also a little terrified. Break that down for me. What does that even look like in practice?
Well, at its core, it's about staying connected to the people, like really connected. Mao believed that the party needed to constantly draw on the experiences of the masses to, refine and adapt its ideology.
So it's not just about the party dictating everything from above.
Not at all. Mao had this whole system for ensuring a two-way flow of ideas, which he called the mass line.
Mass line. Sounds kind of like a subway route.
Well, think of it like a roadmap, but for revolution. So first, the party gathers ideas from the people, their problems, their hopes, their struggles, everything. Then they take those raw insights and filter them through the lens of, Marxist-Leninist theory looking for solutions. And lastly, they translate those solutions into actual policies, programs, campaigns, whatever, which are then implemented by, you guessed it, the masses themselves.
Okay, so it's a loop. You listen, you learn, you act, you listen again. But doesn't all that back and forth takes forever?
That's where investigation comes in. Mao famously said, no investigation, no right to speak. He wanted everyone, even high-ranking officials, to spend time living and working amongst the people, truly understanding their realities.
Wow, can you imagine a world leader today actually having to walk in the shoes of the people they govern? What a concept. But, okay, we're running out of runway here, so big picture time. How does this never-ending revolution, this constant adaptation, play out in China today?
Well, look at their track record. They've undergone some seriously dramatic shifts, right? Their economic policies, their embrace of technology, even their methods of social control, it's all constantly evolving. And I think that adaptability, that willingness to constantly learn and adjust, that's a huge part of why they've been so successful.
So even though Mao himself is gone, his ideas, his way of thinking, it's still woven into the fabric of China today.
100%. It's like we talked about at the beginning, it's in their DNA.
It's wild to think about. And you know what? This whole deep dive, digging into his actual words, it's given us a glimpse, like a secret decoder ring, to understanding some of the forces shaping China's role in the world. We've covered a lot of ground, from the power of the people to the role of the party and this whole never-ending revolution thing.
It's complex stuff, but it's essential if we want to make sense of the world's biggest player.
Couldn't agree more. So, next time you see Mao's face, whether it's on a bill, a portrait, or even one of those little red books, remember his ideas. They're still out there, shaping the world around us.